Lean on yourself. How to experiment your way to an awesome life. A scientific and practical approach to getting the most out of your life. Of course, we all want to live an awesome life, but most of us are so comfortable in our everyday routine that we often don't fulfill our potential. The reason why we don't push ourselves to be better than average could be because of lack of perseverance, avoiding failure, or a lost sense of urgency. Our time is valuable. Life is too short to be mediocre, and everyone knows that stagnation is decline. In order to live a better life, you must become the best version of yourself. But how? Here is a funny thought. What if you would live life like a startup? It may sound silly at first, but think about it for a moment. Okay, I will think. If I do something like startup, I put my own energy. I use my creativity to find the solution. I think if I have a startup. It may sound silly at first, but think about it for a moment. Startups constantly try out new products or features, measure performance, and learn from this analysis to make the next version better. These principles are key to growth. Okay. Startups constantly try out new products or features. Try out. Oh, they make many products because they have a lot of energy. They just start a business, so they have to improve the product each day. It's a good point. What if you would live life like a startup? Measure performance and learn from this analysis to make the next version better. These principles are key to growth. In the bestseller The Lean Startup, Eric Ries introduced the build, measure, learn feedback loop. Let's see how you can apply this model to yourself to enhance personal productivity and happiness. Build, measure, learn, build, measure, learn. Oh, it's like you BDCA plan, do, check, action, plan, do, check, BDCA, BDCA of Deming. It's like BDCA of Deming cycle. Plan, do, check, act. Plan, do, check, act. Learn to grow like a startup. Having worked at different startups, I've come to realize that it takes a certain mindset to succeed in going from zero to profit. You need to embrace challenges, face obstacles, and be perseverant. You must learn how to transform negative feelings such as disappointment or frustration into motivation. And although it might sound counterintuitive, failure is actually a good thing. It allows you to learn from your mistakes the first time around so you can use this knowledge to try better next time. Fail often so you can succeed sooner. Is it right? In the pursuit of growth, continuous experimentation is key. Continuous experimentation is rapid iterative value creation, gained through high frequency testing. It means high frequency testing. That may sound pretty intimidating, but fortunately the concept is not that hard. It basically means running experience fast with the goal of creating a better output. Let's see how we can incorporate continuous experiment for the purpose of personal growth. It's time to apply the build, measure, learn feedback loop model that we talked about earlier to ourselves. Build. Treat everything as an experiment. Define what you want to do, accomplish to or learn in life. First, You need to define the things that you want to experience, improve upon, or accomplish. They can be in terms of happiness, health, family, career, personal development. It doesn't matter what it is as long as you assume it will enrich your life. Try to translate the gap between your current life and your perfect life into actionable things. This is just a short example. We all have an infinite list of things we would like to do, so chances are that your list is pretty long. You can try to work your way through it, but if you don't have a systematic approach, it will cost a lot of time. Moreover, the list of things you created earlier are just hypotheses of things you think will improve your life. You can assume they are true. Do you really want to study politics? To find out, you must test, and since your time is limited, you must test fast and efficiently. Oh, I agree with this point. I have many things I want to learn, I want to study, I want to practice, and I think that make my life make my life improve my life. Like read one book a week, teach high school kids, exercise daily, practice public speaking, learn to play ukulele, guitar, improve negotiation skills. There's many skills. Formulate, prioritize experiments to prepare for testing in an effective way. Let's take a look at the complete list you created earlier. What we are going to do is segmentation. Try to look for similarity or patterns in your list entries. You can segment your list items in long-term versus short-term goals. Then group similar things together. For example, make separate category for health, skill, productivity, and so on. Once you've segmented your list, it's time to formulate your experiment. To do rapid experimentation, you could use A/B testing. In startups, this method is being used to compare two versions of a web page or app against each other to determine which one performs better. In our case, we apply general principle on an empirical level to see which list items has the potential to bring most happiness to your life. Do I like graphic design or programming? Could I rather play rugby or do yoga? Do I enjoy driving or hiking? If you choose experiment in A/B format, you can go through the list of categories you created earlier and formulate experiment lines like in the example above. Make sure to only conduct comparable A/B tests. There's no point in testing, for example, quitting smoking against volunteering abroad. Once you have set up your experiments is in A/B format. Format. You already cut your initial list in half, but obviously you cannot run too many experiments at the same time. It's hard to know the outcome of an experiment if 5 other simultaneous tests are influencing your life. You need to prioritize your experiments. Set up goals for your experiments. Now that you've formulated your experiments and know with which one to start, it's time to define your goal. Having a clear goal will not only give you motivation, but it will also help you focus your time and energy on achieving your goal. Deadline for something. Be a goal digger. Oh, cool. Be a goal digger. Let's start with your highest priority experiment first. In order to make your life more awesome, define the following 3 things. What exactly am I going to do? How much time will I spend on it? What does success look like? Especially for non-quantifiable able life improvements, it's really important to define your goals clearly. It's easy to get caught up in perfecting a certain skill. If you don't set a clear time frame or define what success looks like, you could easily spend years running your first experiment. Meditation. Experiment 6. Meditation. I believe that meditation will help me to get more peace of mind. To verify that, I will meditate for 20 minutes each day for 1 week. I am right if I feel more focused and experiment less distracting thought. Spending years is not what you're aiming for, but you should also not be quick to judge. Allow yourself a certain amount of exploration time on a technique or skill, then decide whether or not it's worth exploring further. If you're doing A/B testing, make sure you spend an equal amount of time on both options. Great, you nailed the definition stage, formulated experiments, and set up experiment goals. Now you can get started with the exciting stuff, experimenting your way to an awesome life. Pick your highest priority experiment to start with. Meditation. 8 for a week. If I'm right, I feel more focused and experienced. You have to know clearly what do you want. Measure, check your progress. The key to experimentation is not just to do it, but also to perform continuous review on a daily basis to make sure you're staying on track. You can use some goal checking tools, but a journal or simple process will suffice just fine. The easiest way to measure non-quantifiable goals is to keep track of 2 things: time span and emotional experience. Time span. This is an easy measurement unit. Write down how much time you spend on experiment each day. Once a week, you can compare your current measurement with your starting point. Are you on track? If yes, great. Keep up the momentum. If your answer is no, you should identify why not. Emotion, experience. Are you feeling happier now that you pick up hiking as a hobby? Are you excited to do more of it? Of course, your measuring criteria will differ, but experience seems to are closely related to your goal. Make a list of emotions that are related to your goal and measure them on a scale of 1 to 5. Learn. Review your goal. Of course, the aim is not to achieve mastery over a certain skill in a short period of time. The goal is to find things you enjoy working on to improve your life. If the activity you are testing brings positivity to your life in any way, keep it, study, practice, get better at it, enjoy the process. If not, move on to the next experiment. It will only work for you if you commit to the process and follow it properly. Make sure to take the time to review your life experiments and the outcome. After a while, you might discover patterns in things you tend to like or dislike. Use this knowledge to adjust your future experience, but only keep an open mind to trying out new stuff. If you were struggling along the way, know that it's completely normal. Because after all, there's no progress without struggle. However, it's still good to take some time to reflect the things that were blocking you so that you might be able to stay on those things next time. Success is a sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. Experimenting your way through life allows you to be productive rather than waiting for good things to happen. You get out there, find what makes you happy and focus on that. If you apply the build, measure, learn model to yourself, you will have a clear direction, improved focus, and better personal skills. Sweet. Experiment your way through life. Try new stuff on the time. Challenge yourself. Discover new talents and passions. Practice every day. You will grow and improve fast. You have the power to transform your life. Check the opportunity to make it awesome. If you like this at all, give this a heart. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. you so much. Build, build, measure, then is like easier of timing help us figure out what make us interested in life is an experience that we as we have skill to measure our experience and reflect it. Thank you. After you watch my video, could you help me to check my pronunciation and my